Hi family, welcome back to my channel. So listen, if you are wondering why God has been having you fasting and praying this whole year, or you are in a season of fasting and prayer, you will definitely want to watch the rest of this video. One thing God have told me is, we are in a season of fasting and prayer, right? The body of Christ is fasting and praying. I know for myself and my mom, God has been having us to fast and pray like every other month for this entire year. The reason the Lord is doing this is because we are coming into some trying times. The Lord is saying that you have to have your flesh under submission, right? Because we are spiritual, right? So you are not to be operating out of your carnal, but rather spiritual, right? Rather your spirit is strong and your flesh need to be weak. But that can't happen if you're not living a life of prayer and fasting. Every time you are fasting, right, God is having you to sacrifice something for him, right? For some of you, it's not eating food for 3 days. For some of you, it's not eating anything for 7 days. For some of you, God is calling you to, give up social media or give up a certain type of food. And that's another thing God has been telling his children, to let meat go. He is trying to build your spirit up. So when the time of persecution comes, you will be walking by the Spirit, right? You will be led by the Spirit, and your flesh will be under submission. So let's go to Mark chapter 14, verses 32 through 42. For the sake of time, I'm not going to read it all. But in Mark 14, 32 through 42, Jesus took his disciples, Peter, James, and John, to Gethsemane with him, right? And what is happening is Jesus is preparing for his crucifixion. In verse 36, Jesus is praying to the Father, Abba, Father, he said, everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will. And so that was Jesus putting his will, his fleshly desires under submission, because he knew what he was getting ready to do. He have to be operating in the spirit. So God is saying, it is not my will, it is not our will, but his will. Every day, when you wake up and you get in your quiet time and you are praying, you should be praying, God, not my will, but let your will be done in my life. Verse 37, then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. Simon, he said to Peter, are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The lesson is, if Peter would have gotten up, right, and he would have been praying just like Jesus was praying, Peter would have been ready for the next day. See, Peter was unaware that he was getting ready to deny the Father, right? He didn't know that he was going to deny the Father. He didn't think that he was capable of denying the Father, or Jesus, I mean. But if he knew what was getting ready to happen, if he had been praying, right, his flesh would have been weak and his spirit would have been stronger. So when that day came, he would have not denied Jesus, right? He would have been walking in the spirit. And that's why Jesus said the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The Lord is saying, take serious when I tell you to fast. He is teaching the body of Christ to operate in the spirit, to build your spirit up, and to deny your flesh, because your flesh is weak. Your flesh will always let you down. But when you are walking in the Spirit, when you are led by the Spirit, then you are ready. You will be ready for whatever it is to come. We are going into the days of the Antichrist, where they are persecuting Christians. We are already going through that, right? Where we see over in other countries, they are locking people up just because they believe in Jesus Christ. And so God is saying that, listen, just because you believe in Jesus Christ, you are going to be persecuted. So I am trying to teach my children to die to yourself, die to your desires, die to your will, and live according to my will. Worry about my will. That's why we are to die to ourselves every single day. We are to deny ourselves every single day, so that we are spiritually strong, guys. So that whatever may come our way, we are spiritually prepared for it. But so many of us are not prepared because we are not taking heed to the warnings. We are not taking serious our fasting. So listen, God is saying that he is trying to prepare his children for the days that is coming. This is not the time to be asleep. And when I say asleep, I mean spiritually. So I pray that you study out Mark 14:32 through 42. So I pray that this word was motivating. I pray that, you know, this word changed some people's mind, change your heart posture, to when God give you something, you know, to be obedient to it. I love y'all so much, but the most important thing to remember is that your Father loves you even more. Y'all stay safe. Remember, comment down below, subscribe to this channel, but like this video, share it.